we work with volunteers. No one's paid, not even me, at this point. Everybody keeps hoping someday. But we have gone for the last 2 years with the funds we had and done no fundraising except for when our car went down. But now we're doing so much stuff and we're getting so many calls that we need to stop to do fundraising for Out of Egypt, because we need the gas money, we need to pay insurance, we need to get the volunteers places. We're doing an outreach for apartment managers, because that's a lot of the tips, where the tips came from. So I knew about property management, I knew all their concerns, so I created an outreach between myself, and the hotline is part of it, meaning that we give out their information. We go in and we take high school seniors and we go to apartment managers and we just say, look, if you end up with a situation you don't know how to handle, we're here for you. And we found that people were so happy to see us. First, they're a little shocked. Then they're like, thank you, we've had this. Thank you, this has happened to us. Thank you for doing this. So I was like, this is really working. so we're going to continue that. But right now we got to stop. It's really hard to be running the organization and stop and do fundraising at the same time. I'd rather do the work. But we need to somehow stop and tell people we need some help. And the littlest amount is helpful. So that's one thing. I have to do the fundraising now because I don't know who else will do it. But we're going to, we do the outreaches. We get calls for victims, and I go and into places and into conversations that are not really comfortable. But we go to let them know we're there. We go and try to find them an avenue to go to, a place to go to, which, like I said, is shockingly difficult considering all that places are starting up. Even if they would accept them, a lot of them are full. And the difficulty I have with, we also have different kinds of victims. So if somebody's been like basically kidnapped, taken by force, it's hard sometimes to mix them even with a different kind of victim. So there's a lot of, some are very afraid because it's much greater amount of people coming after them. So basically we handle the victim calls, also advise people. We've advised government agencies and shelters on how to avoid perpetrators coming in to find out. They sneak in and send women in. So we do advising and educating young people. I've gone to schools and had a whole assembly of like, I think I have 500 kids once, and it was incredible. And I took a youth pastor with me who kind of introduced it, and it was amazing. But it's partly to tell them about human trafficking in different kinds, to tell them how to be safe. And then we have the outreaches. We've also done street outreach for the girls on the street in a major city and gone out and talked to them. And so basically I run all that. And I just call volunteers and I say, will you come with me? Can you help me? And they just come on board. Well, my concern for a home is starting to get to me. I've always had these girlfriends who, one is a domestic violence advocate, who have problems getting people in places. And she kept saying, Jill, we need a home. And I thought, look, there's homes out there. We just need to go do the work. But now I'm starting to go, okay, I get more calls with them going, no, we want to come with you. Because they're afraid and they know I've done, I hate to say escaped because, I'm still in the middle of everybody. People know where I am and what I'm doing, but they trust me. So I also know what to do to keep them safe in certain situations. So I'm thinking we need to maybe have a different kind of home, like a home for trafficking victims, and maybe different, doesn't have to be maybe trafficking victims, but in certain levels of danger, we need to have a home. And just even another one doesn't hurt. Besides the ones there's some really good ones. But also the vision is to continue this apartment outreach because it's really, we want to go to all of them. we've had so many reports from apartment managers, and they're stuck between their bosses and the perpetrators. Some have been threatened by perpetrators, some have been, and some, there's even been a couple where we went, okay, you don't know whether the boss is whether he's worried about how his apartment complex is gonna look. Will it hurt their image if they go for help? Or is it because he's getting something out of it, or somebody's getting something out of it? So depending on where it is, most are really, really cool, and most are really open, and now we're gonna create trainings for all the staff. So we're working on that now, but my vision is just that we have a friendship line with these people that think there's no one there. We have, we're just kind of reaching into the darkness and pulling them out. And that's not an easy thing, but that's my vision.